So before we even get into this video essay, I want to place a disclaimer that Wish was not the best movie ever made. It did not accomplish what it set out to do, the animation was weird to look at, and the characters left much to be desired. That being said, I enjoyed this movie immensely, but not in the way Disney intended. Magnifico was one of the most fun characters I've ever seen on screen in a long time. Firstly, man is a dilf. Disney had no reason to go that hard with his character design. Secondly, the power he wields at the start of the film already makes him a threat if he leverages it against others, but he actively chooses not to do that. The film makes an effort to establish him as a just ruler and the founder of Rosas by setting up a system that's worked for a long time up until that point. This shows that he is a man capable of providing his kingdom with prosperity and happiness for a long period of time. This is the mark of a competent ruler. But not only that, the film makes an effort to show how he came from poverty and destitution, and that he only wanted a new life for him, his wife, and anyone who wished to join him. He cares so deeply for the safety of his people and their wishes to the point that he sings a love song to them. There is not a hint of malice or malcontent in this song, just wonder and kindness, and it makes you feel for the man. The whole film, I felt like I was able to empathize more with Magnifico than even Asha. She felt completely flat in her presentation, and she was naive to a fault. When she interviews for the position as Magnifico's assistant, all she can think about is getting her grandpa's wish granted. She is so unconcerned with other people and the impact that wish may have on others that she blatantly disregards Magnifico's own wish and essentially parts the Red Sea of wishes, brushing them to the side like garbage. It's clear she only had one motivation for being there, and it wasn't to help other people. It was completely and utterly selfish. This trend continues throughout the film, but also extends to the people of Rosas. All they care about is their own wishes and getting them granted, and I can only imagine years and years of this selfishness just chipping away at Magnifico. He's just a man, no different from you or me, put in a position of power over others, doing whatever he can to keep them safe. And all they can think about is taking from him. Sure, he could grant everybody's wishes immediately, but like he said, some wishes are either too vague or downright villainous and should not be granted to the people. Not everything in the world is black and white, and that's where Asha's naivete really shows. She wants every wish to be granted. She doesn't care about the effects it will have on the outside world. It's a very short-sighted view of life. Even as Asha's selfishness dawns on Magnifico, he still gives her another chance by explaining the moral grayness involved with granting every wish. He still protects the bad wishes, just as he does the good ones. He's kind. He sees his own past suffering in his people, and he wants to save them from that. He is a product of his past, but a good one. Then, Asha blows up on him, not even questioning his method of ruling in a way that would promote change. She just badgers him with whatever thought comes to her mind, one after another. Magnifico had every right to get upset. As the film continues, people continue to take and take and take from Magnifico. Keep in mind, please, he is still a person. He does not start out this film as a villain. This is his origin story. Asha made him like this. She is the reason he turns to the book. She is the reason he slowly loses his grip on reality, and no one, not even his wife, tries to help him out of his mental breakdown. Not a single soul cares for their king's well-being like he did theirs. It's a tragedy. And that's what I really enjoyed about Wish. Now, there were a lot of things I would change in this film. If we wanted to go the traditional Disney route, we would need to make Magnifico either more evil or give him less screen time to make him less sympathetic. Or maybe just fix Asha as a character because she is not very well thought out. Now that's if you want to go down the Disney route. I, on the other hand, would lean heavier into Magnifico's mental breakdown and make him either the main character or a redeemable character and have the whole story be about his loss of self due to never truly having someone there for him. In the current film, you can argue that his wife was always there for him, but I would argue otherwise. We see at the end of the film that she never truly loved him, as she taunts him and essentially tosses him away despite their years and years of history. There should have been even the tiniest bit of grief from the queen, or sympathy, but there was none. If he started out as a bad man, I would understand her just like dipping, but he was very clearly having a mental breakdown of some sort, and she was his only support system, and he still talked to her. He still treated her essentially the same as he did at the start. He did threaten her with his staff in one scene, which is obviously not okay, but this man is so lost in the sauce. He does not know what he's doing at this point. He's just moving on instinct. We even see him legitimately just laughing on stage in front of an audience of his entire kingdom, which is the only thing he has said he cared about this entire film. And he's having like a manic episode, and we're just supposed to believe he's evil? I mean, we've seen what led him there. He's not a bad man. He was established to have morals in multiple ways. He refused, for what I'm assuming to be years, to even touch dark magic, but at his breaking point, his lowest and darkest time, we just kept pushing him further and further down. The queen showing some compassion in the final scene would have been more than warranted. He was not evil. Like we said about the wishes, the world can't be seen in black and white. Magnifico was a shade of gray that people refused to see the good in. The downward spiral we saw Magnifico go through in this film was the most interesting thing that occurred the entire time. I don't know the names of any of the side characters, as they were so unmemorable. Asha's father was so unimportant to the story, we learned nothing about him, and I didn't even want to. All the people in Rosa were entitled, and the opening number was a ripoff of Encanto, just straight up. The only thing else I can say is, contrary to a lot of people, I really enjoyed the music. I have added every song except This Is the Thanks I Get to my Disney playlist on Spotify, and I have been listening to Wish and At All Costs on repeat for hours. In conclusion, I liked the film for what it was. It should have been better. It should have had a starboy love story and a villain couple. But what we got was the villain origin story of a very intriguing DILF, and Asha was there too. Thank you all for tuning in. This essay was essentially a summation of a good chunk of my opinions on Wish. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to know what you thought about the film. Make sure to leave your opinions in the comments, your opinions on my opinions, anything. And subscribe to my channel because you love me and I love you. Till next time.